So people have been seeing some really weird stuff happening in Marvel Rivals lately. I'm actually starting to wonder if it's a tease for Ultron. Let's go ahead and get into it. YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark. I'm up bright and early on a Monday morning, and we're just going to go ahead and get into it. So if you saw one of my previous videos I released a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about the characters that I thought potentially would be coming in season 2 of Marvel Rivals, because we're only about 2 weeks out, maybe a little less than that, from the new season, which we're going to be getting 2 new characters and a map, et cetera, et cetera. And just want to go ahead and say, because I think there's a lot of people that are still confused about it. The devs said that we wouldn't be getting 2 characters per half of season. We'd only be getting 1 per half of season. So that'd be 2 altogether, but it'll be 1 at the beginning of the season. And then when we have the mid-season update, we'll get another one. So we're probably not going to be getting 4 characters overall for a season again, in regards to what they said, which kind of makes sense because it would just kind of be a character overload. But anyway, like I said, let's just go ahead and get into the point of the video. So I actually saw something on X the other day that I thought was really interesting. And it's not just X, it's actually all over Reddit too as well, a couple different other sites where people have been just randomly uploading pictures. Now these pictures, I'm going to put some of them on the screen, but these pictures were actually taken like they're taking pictures of the screen. They're not taking like a screenshot in game. I really don't get why a lot of people do that still. It's really weird. I mean, it seems like on console or on PC, you're able to just take a picture and then email it to yourself or whatever, but a lot of people still use their phones. Really weird. But anyway, nonetheless though, it actually helps to kind of, in my head, verify the authenticity of the pictures, simply because with Photoshop or anything like that, Chat GPT, now you can kind of make a picture of anything. AI is getting to that point, and tech is getting to that point to where it's really hard to decipher real things from Photoshop and stuff like that. Nonetheless though, I do believe that these pictures are authentic just because there's so many different people randomly that are posting them. These are like coming from, accounts that are not, I wouldn't necessarily say verified, but accounts that are from real users, not just like fresh accounts or whatever the case is, or they're not all coming from the same account, I should say. Anyway, these pictures, they're of chats from the system. Now I'm going to post these on the screen, but when you're in the game, you might get a notification from the system, but you don't actually see chats from the system. And these chats are just they're saying random stuff, as you can see from the pictures. I think the one where it says "I ain't a Fed," I think that's actually kind of funny. But as you can see though, people have been getting these, and there's a lot of them. And at first it was just a handful of people, and then it's just every day since I saw this, which was about 2 days ago, there's been a fresh batch of people that have been getting them, and it seems like it's kind of growing at an exponential rate here. So but like I said, when I first saw these pictures, I was just kind of thinking like, oh well, maybe that's just like a dev that's having fun, or maybe somebody's like found a way to like exploit the system and find a way to make it seem like they are the system when they're typing. But the thing is that, like most things in life, when you have one individual that can do something, then it's easier for people to kind of hold that in regards to it being a secret, right? But the moment that multiple people know how to do something, and that would have to be the case if you have multiple different people in different games where this is happening to them, and they're posting it, it would make you think that, those people aren't going to all be able to like hold on to that secret. Anytime there's an exploit or anything in the game, it usually after a couple of days becomes public knowledge and available to people through, people sharing it in Discords or just word of mouth, whatever the case is. And I haven't seen anything like that yet where anyone's actually, came out and said, oh, there's this exploit where you can do something in the system. Marvel Rivals themselves, the devs, their X page, anything like that, they haven't said anything about it. So it's kind of got me thinking if maybe they're actually leading up to a tease with Ultron. Now, like I said in my previous video, or I don't know, if I actually said I forgot, this is my first time recording this, I had to re-record it, but nonetheless though, in a previous video that I had stated in regards to like leaks for what could be coming out, I had believed that Emma Frost and Jean Grey would probably be coming out simply because they had said at the end of this season, where Doom ends up taking out Dracula, he said that he had to go to the Hellfire Gala. Well, he didn't say Hellfire Gala, but he said he had a gala to attend, and we've been seeing a lot of different teases for Hellfire Gala. So a lot of people are assuming that we're probably going to get that next season, more than likely with the way that the story is going at the moment. And to me personally, it just made sense that we would be getting Emma Frost and Jean Grey. But Ultron, he was actually leaked like as far back as I can remember. It was like somewhere in December. I mean, pretty much like right after the game came out, people had already found his full entire kit, which I'll post that on the screen now, in the game. And, no one's seen like a character model for him yet, but we, being able to see the picture of his kit and stuff like that and his abilities, the only time that we were able to do that before was with the Fantastic Four. So to me, that made sense that eventually they would release them. But the devs also said that they have characters that are fully fleshed out and stuff, models, their abilities, everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're releasing them right away. They kind of pick and choose. So I just thought with us having the Hellfire Gala, it would make more sense to have the X-Men, but we already do have X-Men in the game. So technically they could do events and release costumes and stuff like that, for characters, and it not necessarily have to be them also rolling out 2 new X-Men characters as well. And not to mention too, the Hellfire Gala technically had a bunch of different people. Like, for example, they had Iron Man, Captain America, et cetera, people that weren't X-Men, but they also attended the Hellfire Gala. So technically they could make a lot of different skins and stuff without having to bring in 2 new characters for it to be centered around. Nonetheless though, one of the other things that's making me think that Ultron is going to be in the game and getting released with the new season is the fact that there was also leaks for, I believe it was Hot Topic. I'm going to put those pictures on the screen as well. But Hot Topic actually has pictures of Ultron and Blade on 2 T-shirts that I believe are for sale now, or they're coming out. But nonetheless, though, people have seen the pictures on their website. Obviously, as you can see here, they're on the screen for you guys. So that definitely has me thinking that those are probably going to be the characters that we're getting next season. And like I said, I was skeptical simply because I don't know. It just kind of felt like they would probably release, the X-Men next season. Plus, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I feel like the characters and their kits are really cool, because it's rumored that Jean Grey and Emma Frost both would have basically like dual kits, kind of like Cloak and Dagger, for example, where, take Emma Frost, where she would have the ability to go into like her diamond form, maybe have more health and have abilities that are specific to her diamond ability, and then be able to have like, telepathic abilities and stuff in her normal form. And then Jean Grey was the same thing. People were saying that Jean Grey would be one form, and then the Phoenix would be another form, et cetera, et cetera. So that was me personally. I just kind of thought that, or at least hoped, I would say, that we'd be getting them as far as characters. But like I said, though, Blade and Ultron have already been a little bit more fleshed out in regards to us having models and different things for them and stuff. And even then with the models, I said for Blade, I was like, well, they already put them in the game, in the what is it, Midtown map, the one where, he's tied up and chained up and stuff in Dracula's little area. So it made sense to me that there was a model for him in the game, simply because he literally is like in the game, just not as a playable character. So you'd have to have a model for that. Whereas with Ultron, like I said, with him, he's been in the game since back in December in regards to having his abilities and stuff like that, to where people were able to post him. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up too really quick is a tweet from a guy, Miller Ross. It's @Miller on X. And he was replying to someone called Darkhold. And he said, I can't predict what I already know. I'll just say, you're going to love this one. Perfect choice for the meta right now, and they're going to be farming viral clips left and right with some of these characters' interactions. Now, you could that was a very vague kind of tweet. Now this guy, Miller, he's been, since the game's release, been able to kind of like, talk about different stuff. I don't know if he has like direct access to devs, or if he knows someone and he's just kind of leaking the stuff, or whatever the case is. But usually he's pretty spot on with his stuff. I trust him a lot in regards to what he says, even though, like I said, with this tweet, he didn't actually like give away too much or say anything too specific. Sorry, I dropped my pen that I was fidgeting with. Nonetheless, though, I do think it's interesting, though, simply because, I think Ultron would be, actually, I think all of the characters, honestly, shy of like Blade, would be interesting in regards to like farming viral clips. Blade, I just kind of imagine him being more like a magic type character, maybe like a mix of like a Psylocke magic type character, having things that he can throw, but also having a sword. That's just what I see as far as in regards to his kit. But with Ultron, I think Ultron would be pretty funny, just because of like the voice lines that he would have. I mean, you just think about like, Age of Ultron and different things that he said, and how people, farm those clips for years to come. People are still doing it. But then the only person I could think of would be Emma and Jean Grey. So, and we've already heard some of their voice lines. If you haven't heard those, I have a video as well where I cover those. So, but like I said, though, I'm just curious what you guys think, who you guys want to see. I know there's a lot of people that feel very passionately on both sides. They would love to have Ultron and Blade, and have been waiting on both of those characters for a while. And then I know there's people like myself who would really love to see Emma Frost and Jean Grey, Jean Grey, got tongue twister there. Anyway, nonetheless, I know there's a lot of people that on both sides that would love to see see both characters. So just let me know in the comments which ones that you guys would like to see and what you think also about the system chats and stuff like that are going on that people are starting to see. Do you guys think that that's some kind of exploit that people are using and they're just kind of keeping it to themselves, having a fun bit of trolling? Maybe it's the devs and they're trolling, or do you think maybe possibly they are leaking, or not leaking, but giving us a tease for Ultron and kind of like what his, what he'll be able to do and all that kind of stuff, or just building it up. Also too, let me know what you guys think about the shirts that are in Hot Topic, and do you think that just kind of adds validity to those being the characters that'll be released, or do you think that they're just trying to profit off of images that we already had on the internet, the same way that I was able to put Ultron in the thumbnail because his picture has been available for a while, and Blade in a previous picture? Or like I said, do you think that they kind of already know what's up and they're just getting ahead of the merch? Because like I said, we are about 2 weeks out from the new season, so that means we're probably only about a week out from them actually like revealing the characters and just letting us know outright which characters it's going to be. And so that's just me personally. Yeah, but I'd love to hear from you guys, thoughts and opinions in the comments. Let me know. Are you happy, excited for the new season? Are you excited for the new characters? Are there some characters that you think might be coming out that I haven't mentioned, et cetera, et cetera? So, but I appreciate you guys for listening. This is Dark, and I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one.